Radio Real Estate.
Riveting. Are we all feeling riveting today?
We
Yes,
are.
we are. How about you, Don?
I'm feeling very riveting. Yes. And I have some statistics for you today.
Oh, good.
I don't always do that, but sometimes it's fun to kind of go through. These are the statistics for July.
Okay.
In Shelton. So we have 33. That month we had 33 newly listed.
Oh, wow.
Places, which is great.
Yeah.
And the average listing price was $229,938. So that's moving up a little bit.
Yes.
Went all the way from $499,997 down to $130.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So quite a big range.
Yes.
Which we're seeing more and more. We had 20 pending. And 22 sold.
Wow.
During that month. So things are looking good, but we've been talking about how little inventory we have. We still only have 1.7 months of inventory.
Oh, wow.
So, which again means that it would take, they figure, 1.7 months to sell off everything that we have listed.
So how do they get that number?
I'm sure there's some kind of a formula, but basically they figure, okay, how many you have listed. If somebody made an offer on every single one that was listed right now, it would take 1.7 months to sell off.
So people are just staying where they're at, pretty much.
Pretty much, although 33 new listings in a month is pretty decent.
That is good. And, I follow things, and you'll say, oh, new listings.
Right.
I'm like, oh, look at those. Check them out. Some really nice houses.
Right. And typically, we're saying that anything under 200,000 now is going pretty quickly.
Yes.
So that contributes to that 1.7 months as well. I mean, if you list it, and then all of a sudden 2 days later you have an offer on it. I mean, that kind of, and that's been happening fairly regularly for that under 200,000.
And I've been looking, of course,
Right.
you know this.
Right.
And the one house I really wanted went really fast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, darn it. God,
Yeah.
I really wanted that one.
Yeah, I know. It's so that kind of brings up our topic for today. We're going to talk about we're on the letter P.
Okay.
So we're talking about pre-approval letters, and I know, Vicki, you've kind of been going through this process. So
Yes.
wanted to kind of talk a little bit about it. We've mentioned several times how very, very important that is.
Yes.
For two reasons now, especially with this hot market. You need to go in ready.
Yes.
To make a move, because as you've seen, if you wait around, the one you want is gone. So you need to have that pre-approval letter actually in hand before you start the searching process.
And I just learned that because I've never bought a home.
Right.
So I know nothing about it. So you have enlightened me with a lot of information, which I'm just soaking up. So,
you became riveted.
And I was riveted.
I'll tell you what, Vicky, I'm in the same boat as you. I've never bought a home, so these
Yeah.
these segments
You learn
really help
it,
me
though.
too.
All these things that you really have to think about, which a lot of people don't.
And you have to have all the tools ready, like the pre-approval letter.
Right. And it's really not that hard. I think
No.
you've found. I mean, you basically pick a lender,
Yeah.
and if you're having trouble finding a lender, I have several names that I can refer. So come and see me, and I can give you those cards. What I usually tell people is to start with wherever they bank.
Right.
Because you're known there.
Yes.
And so sometimes and then there are other mortgage companies. There's all kinds of options that you can do. And then once you start talking to a lender, then you find out that there's VA financing, there's FHA financing, there's USDA financing, there's all kinds of different programs that your lender would know whether you qualify for or not.
Right.
And so you've found, I'm sure, you just basically give them some basic financial information, and then they determine.
And it's not that much that you have to, just some financial information,
Right.
What you're doing,
Right.
how you do
Right.
it.
Right. And they all say, and I think this is important to remember, that pre-approval is not a guarantee of a loan.
Right.
It's just based on the information that they've gotten from you. Their best guess is that you qualify for this amount of money.
Right.
When you actually go through the underwriting process, then sometimes other things come out. So be prepared for that as well. There's a difference between pre-approval and qualified, you know. So, but again, it's an important piece of paper to have when you find a place that you love.
So you can make an offer.
So you can make an offer,
right.
yeah. And most sellers now, and I understand this, why they're with the hot market, they're wanting to have the most likely candidate for a close that they can. So they are pretty much always demanding some kind of a pre-approval or proof of funds, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So with it being a hot market, is there any signs of it possibly cooling down at all?
I hope not.
I know.
I hope it continues for quite some time.
Yes.
But yeah, everything levels off.
Yeah.
And we're finding too a lot of times that appraisals have not always kept up with the higher prices. A lot of times folks have to, in order to get a place, have to offer more than the asking price. Well, that's great, but then it has to, that appraisal has to match that.
Right.
So that's in the catch-up process.
And then you see sometimes, with the listings, reduced
Right,
price,
right.
and
Right. And a lot of times that's happening. So, and a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but sometimes houses will come back on the market. They'll either, somebody won't get their financing or for a variety of reasons.
Right.
So
That's where you see pending sometimes.
sometimes it's pending inspection and then it'll go back to active, or
Right.
it's pending and it goes back to active. So the fact that you see a house that all of a sudden is pending, still keep watching it, because sometimes it can come back on the market, and then if you're right ready there to jump on it,
To
then
swoop in on it.
swoop in.
I know.
Yes, yes.
Are you seeing people come from out of state or in state?
We are seeing quite a few people come from out of state. Actually, I just we had one in our office not too long ago where they bought it sight unseen. They'd
wow.
seen the pictures on the internet, and they were coming from somewhere, some other state, and they made an offer on it without even actually
Wow.
seeing it, and then came and looked at it during the inspection process, obviously. But yeah, folks are realizing that even in state, they can come from Thurston County or Pierce County or Lewis County and get more of a value here in Mason County.
Yes.
And they're prepared to deal with whatever commute they have to do. So we're seeing a lot of that.
That's great. And, me coming from California,
Right.
there's a big difference in price
Right.
in houses.
Absolutely.
In California than Washington. And it's just beautiful out here. I love it out here.
Yeah,
so.
it's a great state.
It's
I
a
love
great
it.
community,
I love
too.
it too. Yeah, I love it too. So we're-
how's your new home?
I love my new home.
you?
Yes, I am
bet.
all moved in, and I'm hoping that my old home is in the process of being sold here shortly.
very
So I'm kind of going through that process myself. I'm on the other side of being a seller now, and I'm realizing some of all these things that I keep telling all my clients. I'm telling myself, and I'm not sure I believe it anymore. But
Right?
it is a
That's
process.
funny.
It is a
Oh,
process.
It totally is.
Yeah, but it's a good time to be out looking, and it's a good time to put your house on the market. So I would encourage folks to come and see me, and I would be delighted to help you through the process.
And where can they find you?
They can call me at 360-490-4493, or they can come and see me on the corner of 3rd and Railroad at the John L. Scott office. And as I always say, if I'm not there, they know where I am.
They do. And thank you so much, Dawn.
Don Pannell,
Yeah.
John L. Scott Realty.
Yes,
Riveting Radio
absolutely.
Real Estate.
Yeah, you're just awesome.
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
great weekend.
I will, you too.